We're kicking off 2025 with Jurassic Park builder models once again. This time we're going to be talking about aquatic creatures. So that's cool. First off, we have Dunkleosteus, which is... This is not a very good angle, by the way. But I guess they got the job done, despite the Dunkleosteus looking armory. Way too armory. It should have more flesh, obviously. Why does Kronosaurus look so wimpy? Its flippers are way too short, obviously. Its head as well, you know, not really short, but it kind of feels wrong. I don't know what it is, but it just feels extremely wimpy. Ammonites are an entire subclass, so we can't really give anything on this ammonite. There isn't that much to say about Platycarpus, honestly. Tylosaurus, though. 1, its flippers are short ass. 2, what are those stuff on its back? This feels like just extra unnecessary mass. Actually, never mind. They may or may not have existed on Tylosaurus. However, again, its flippers are way too short. And the fact they've done worse with Tylosaurus, by the way. Late 60s is based on an outdated model, but everything else about late 60s is fine. Basilosaurus, its head is a bit long, obviously. And, geez, a bunch of these outdated models. Hinosaurus might have belonged to Tylosaurus, so we're going to treat it the same way as we did with Tylosaurus and say its flippers are a bit short. The thing on the Shonisaurus' back is debatable, but otherwise Shonisaurus doesn't seem too bad. Cephalderma doesn't look so bad, but besides the detail issue, its tail should also be a little bit longer compared to its body proportions. Good thing is, they managed to capture Leptoclas's short tail. They managed to give Leptoclas a short tail, which is good. Bad thing is, Leptoclas's tail did not look like that. It should be a little bit more like an eel, instead of being straight like this, for example. Here's a problem with basically every Plesiosaur in this game. Their heads are a bit too big compared to their neck. The Plesiosaur we talked about was the Styxosaurus. Now we're talking about the Leviathan, and Leviathan is fine. It's supposed to be a bigger sperm whale, that's all. As is the Gillicus. I mean, it's super obscure. I tried to find a DeviantArt. I tried to find a more accurate model DeviantArt, and it just didn't work. Bananogmius wasn't so bad, but its flippers should be positioned a little higher up. Unfortunately, though, this Ophthalmosaurus looks a little bit, chunky. Yeah, that's the word I'm gonna describe it. Chonky. It should look a bit more sleek, like this design over here. I also like the idea of Ophthalmosaurus having shorter flippers, which this doesn't really represent that well. What I said about the Styxosaurus can just translate to Mauisaurus extremely well. Dacosaurus doesn't look that bad, actually, especially compared to Jurassic World game. Cephectinus's front area should be a little bit more pronounced, I suppose. But otherwise, Cephectinus is not terrible. The, the thing on top of the Encodus's back is a little bit too long, as well as this, its tail, those tail area, that's a little bit too short as well. Not the tail itself, the back of it. I forgot what they are called. We're going to be assuming this sea scorpion is the Pentacopterus, and of course its tail had to be a little bit off. It's supposed to be just one area, one mass, not 3 masses. Helicoprion is based on an outdated model. Even the Gaming Beaver pointed that out at one point in one of his videos. Pliosaurus' model is definitely outdated AF. You know what I said about these mosasaurs and pliosaurs stuff, those flippers? Their angle wasn't that good, so I thought they were short, but I'm probably wrong over here. In fact, if you look at this angle, they are probably too long. Wow. Guys, this is supposed to be a Plesiosaurus. Man. Obviously, its tail is also outdated. I really like this Plesiosaur tail, actually. Yo, this is an actual Metrorhynchus, man. And Jurassic World the game decided to butcher the Metrorhynchus and make it super crocodilian, when in fact, Metrorhynchus is not even close to being a crocodilian. Although outdated looking, the Dolichorhynchops' tail is short and well done. Colossal Squid is a modern animal plucked into a prehistoric game. I always found Shastasaurus's front face and Shastasaurus's head a little bit weird, especially from this angle. It's supposed to just go down straight. Whatchamacallit, like the back all the way to the front of its head, its nostril, its nose. It's supposed to be more straight instead of curved down. Not curve up though. I can't really call it curve up. We can only call it curve towards the front. There's almost no curvature on Shastasaurus. Adestus is also based on an outdated model, so we can't really say that much about it. The Megalodon. The Otodus Megalodon. Back then it was not part of the Otodus genus, so I guess this is looking a bit more like a great white shark. It was actually fine back then, but now it looks a little bit more like a mako shark. Megalodon, they did okay with Megalodon, I suppose. Hybodus. The front is supposed to be a little bit longer than the back, instead of being vice versa, on the back part of this Hybodus, but otherwise, it's fine. Not much to complain about Orthocaris, really. Ah, no, not this Archelon. Archelon's flippers are supposed to be much more broad than whatever this baby Archelon is. Now, here's the thing about the Elasmosaurus. Its skull looks a little bit weird and not reptilian enough. It looks more like that quote-unquote Crocodilian from Jurassic Park Builder, the same game, and it just, that skull didn't look good at all. And Henodus is fine. There should be more spikes around the Animalcaris's, whatchamacallit. I forgot what these are called. Animalcaris is featured in so many of these garbage paleontology videos. Yet I still can't remember Animalcaris's bodies, what these body parts are called. But 4 spikes is just not enough for Animalcaris, although that's probably a, a detail issue that this game just ignores, which is fine. From this angle, the front of the Bachylites looks a bit thick. I'm willing to bet this Protosphaerina is outdated, so... Now, the thing about Odobenocetops is that its skull, its face, its head looked much more like a walrus. This doesn't really encapsulate that. It kind of does, but it's definitely not enough. Walrus is probably not a good comparison. It's probably a terrible comparison, but at least they got one spike. One very long spike. I don't know about the other one, but this one is pronounced as one spike. I mean, they at least tried. Oh my god, look at that quote-unquote Odobenocetops. This is not an Odobenocetops at all. At least they tried with those horns, yet they should be much more pronounced. One is supposed to be much longer than the other, which this angle doesn't really translate, and never mind, the shadow of it does. Its head should be much more dipped, though, instead of just being generic and rounded. They actually made the Coolasuchus. I forgot to cover the Coolasuchus in Jurassic World the game, but that did not look like a Coolasuchus. That looked like a freaking salamander. Trinochromerum. Unfortunate that its tail is still long, but otherwise Trinochromerum doesn't look shabby. We're on to the last 3, the first one being Geosaurus, which it's its skull should be more elongated than this. I don't know. I don't understand why Kronosaurus has the same animations as this thing out of all things all aquatic creatures in this game. Why does the Kronosaurus have the same animation as this? These two are just drastically different. Oh my god. But Hyneria doesn't look bad, but from its ankle, its skull looks a bit awkward. Mosasaurus is the final one. Its skull and its body should not form a hump right on the neck. That's pretty much it, though. Although Mosasaurus is not chunky enough here as well. That is all there is for this video. So, not the next video, whatchamacallit, in another video we're going to be talking about the glacier creatures, and, oh boy! Glacier creatures definitely look, much more crazy than those aquatic creatures. There wasn't that much spectacularity in aquatic creatures. Anyway, apart from a few exceptions. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. See you all in the next one.